Today is the 14th of March 2024. Okay, and this will be our 6th video on trigonometry. Okay, thank you everyone who has subscribed to our channel. I appreciate it a lot. And if you've not considered it already, and the channel is of use to you and you can hear me, can you please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, and following us? Okay. If you subscribe, it helps us on the channel platform as well, on YouTube and stuff. Okay, thank you very much. Now, if the account is not yours, don't use somebody's account anyhow. Ask for permission before you use it to subscribe. Okay, and or just ask somebody to help you open your own account. Subscribe, and when we upload, you get your notification. And when you finish watching, share, like, follow. Okay. In the comment section, you normally see please follow my notes/script. Okay, so for instance, this is 0.26. okay, that is 300. So for instance, if you hear 30 here, okay, go by the notes. Okay, 0.26. So if you hear 0.206, please go by the notes. Okay. Beware of scammers, please. Take care of yourself online. Okay. Now recap. We've done a lot of trig work. Okay, we've seen the SOHCAHTOA. Now we are applying SOHCAHTOA to answer angle of depression and angle of elevation questions. Okay, I showed you how to apply SOHCAHTOA with right angle triangle. We use a video for that. Okay, how you can see which function to use. Okay, whether sine, cosine, or tan. And then when we're talking about angle of elevation, we said one way to make it easier is to sketch first. Okay, because most of the time they will sketch it for you. So if you go by imagination and you choose the wrong function, then you get the answer wrong. So do a sketch and choose the right function, then you get the right answer. Okay. If the numbers are not simple, it might be in a calculator paper. Starter. Before we started trig, we were looking at fraction to decimals, we were looking at terminating fractions, and we were looking at recurring fractions. So here we have 13/50. Okay, if you use the calculator, you get 0.26. Okay, but you can go by the long division method, which I have shown you several times. So I'm not going to go over it today. You can do the long division method if you like. Now, 50 can be broken down as 5 and 10. 10, 2, and 5. So because of the prime factors of 2 and 5, they are going to terminate. Okay. 9/1000. Now you can have 9. You move the decimal point 3 times to your left. okay, and then you have a decimal of 0.09. Here again, it terminates because you have two prime factors of 2 and 5 if you break it down. Okay, that's why you have 0.009. Now 3, 1/3. Okay, now because you have a prime factor of 3, it's going to recur. So you get 0.333333, on and on and on. Okay, now another way to shorten it is to write 0.3 and put the dot at the 3. That is, the 3 recurs. Okay, now this is an example where you say that they'll ask you that which of the fractions recur. Then you say that because this has a prime factor of 3, that is the reason why it's recurring. Okay, now again, 2/9 is going to recur because the prime factors here are 3 and 3. Okay, so you have 0.22222, it goes on. So you can put the dot on the 2 to say that it recurs. Okay, you can use your calculator to do this if it's a calculator paper. Okay, but even if you use the long division, you can see that it will recur. 3/7. Here again, it will recur because 7, the prime factor here is 7, not 2 or 5 or both. Okay, so you have 0.33333. So 0.3, the dot on top of 3, it recurs. Okay, we want to look today at more angle of depression and elevation questions. Okay, the trick here is to sketch. Okay, try, don't get straight, because if you get the function wrong, if you are supposed to use sine and you use tan, okay, and you get it wrong, your answer will be wrong. Okay, but if you sketch, you can see what you are looking for, the what you are supposed to answer, and then you can go ahead and solve it. So a cruise ship, from a cruise ship, the elevation angle to the nearby hilltop is 74 degrees. The hill has height 80 feet. So from the sea level to the top of the hill is 80 feet. How far away is the hill from the ship? Okay, so here we are going to sketch. We will sketch, put in the figures we have, and then we'll decide which function to use. Okay, so this is my sketch. That is my my ship. Okay, that is the hill top. Okay, and then if you're on this ship here, when you lift your eyes, the angle of elevation of 74 degrees to the top here, okay, is 74, and the hill top from the to the sea level is 800 feet. Okay, by drawing, it widens your imagination. Now all the diagrams we've been using so far is not to scale. Now you're supposed to find where the cruise ship is, the length to the top of the horizontal length from the ship to the hill on the ground. So that is the hilltop, and that is the hill down on sea level. Okay, so we need this distance. So now we know that's the angle, we know the adjacent, and then we know the height, so we are going to use tan. So we have the angle, we know the opposite, we know the adjacent, so we'll use tan. So tan 74 there equals 800, that height, over A, okay, where the cruise ship is from the hill, the base of the hill. So A will be 800 tan 84. If I change places with A and tan 74 please, not 84. Tan 74 on the calculator will give me 3.4874. This is where you should follow my notes. So 800 divided by 3.4874 will be 2229.4 feet. Okay, we're given our unit in feet, so we'll leave our answer in feet as well. Okay, so the distance A from here to here, so the cruise ship is approximately 299.4 feet. Okay, here to one decimal place. If they ask us to leave it in the nearest whole number, they need to be 230 feet. No, 229 feet. Okay. Another example, a tree has height 58 meters. Shade 2 meters tall, is 200 meters from the tree horizontally. Find the angle of elevation from the tree top to Gcse. So here again, we are going to sketch. Okay, so this is my sketch. Jade is here. Jade is 2 meters. Okay, we want this angle here. So if Jade lifts her eyes, what angle does she make with the treetop? But we already know that Jade is 2 meters. So we take 2 meters out of the 58 meters. Okay, and then so now we are going to use 56 instead of 58. These are things, if you don't sketch, you might not be able to see it in your mind's eye. Jade is 200 meters horizontally from the foot of the tree. So now which function do we use? We know the adjacent and we know the opposite. So here again we are going to use tan. So the angle of elevation now will be 56 because we have the elevation is starting from Jade's eye, not from her feet. Okay, so we have tan E elevation will be 56 divided by 200. This one, J's distance away from the root of the tree. Now, so 56 divided by 200 will give us 0.28. So the E, now the angle of elevation, is tan inverse 0.28. So you go on your calculator, put in 0.28, press your second function, you get your tan inverse, and you should get an angle of 15.6. So this angle here is 15.6. Okay, that will be the next example then. Now let's look at another example. Frankie. Okay, some people spell it with a Y, some people spell it with an IE. Okay, so Frankie sees a kite at an angle of at an elevated angle of 38 degrees. Okay, the kite is 2.1 miles horizontally from Frankie. What is its height? Leave your answer in feet. Okay, in an exam, follow instructions. Okay, so if you finish and you left your answer in miles, they won't give you the full marks. They've given you that 1 mile is 5280 feet. Okay, so when you get your answer will be in miles. You change it into feet. So my sketch, that is Frankie. Okay, and we are finding the angle of elevation to the kite. Okay, so when she lifts her eyes, she can see the kite 38 degrees. Her distance, if you measure perpendicularly from the ground to the kite, is 2.1 miles. So we want this height. So again, that we need tan, because we know the opposite, and we know the adjacent. Okay, so now again, tan of 3.8 no, tan of 38 degrees. Okay, not 3.8, tan 38. Let me put the degrees here. So tan 38 degrees equals the height I'm looking at the question again. Okay, it's 3.8 here, not 38. This is why you should follow my notes. So tan 3.8, so I'm going to put 3.8 in the sketch. So I sketched it, put in the wrong angle, but I used the right angle to solve. Okay, so tan 3.8 will be equal to the height over 2.1. That is why you should follow my notes. Okay, so the height, this height here, that is the angle of elevation. The question says 3.8. There, 2.1 miles. Okay, so tan of 3.8 equals the height over 2.1. Okay, so the height, this h, will be 2.1 tan 3.8. So 2.1 tan 3.8 will be on the calculator will be 0.0664. If you multiply, you have 0.1395 miles. Now, in the question, you've been told 1 mile is 5280 feet. So now, if 1 mile is 5280 feet, then 0.1395 miles will be 5280 times 0.1395. Okay. So if you multiply again on the calculator, you have 736 feet. So this height here is 736 feet, the height, if you convert. Okay. So yeah, these are the questions I prepared for you today. Okay. So basically that is what I have for you today. Okay, please share. Okay, if they like it, fine. If they can't hear me, there are a lot of platforms that they can hear, which they can use. Okay, but share, subscribe, like, nice comments will be appreciated. Okay. Yeah, take care of yourself online. Thank you to everyone who is watching our video. Okay, and I'll see you in the next